So diving into today's devotion, we're starting with Colossians 3:14-15, where it says to put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. That sounds poetic, but I wonder, what does it actually mean in day-to-day life?
It's striking, isn't it? I picture it almost like layering on a warm coat. Love covers everything else and brings people together. Sometimes I forget that unity in families or churches doesn't come from agreeing on everything, but from choosing love intentionally, even when things feel tense or awkward.
That's such a relatable image. I've noticed, too, that when I'm frustrated but decide to act with kindness, it actually diffuses tension way faster than trying to force agreement. Maybe that's what makes love the perfect bond. It keeps us together even when we'd otherwise drift apart.
Absolutely, and love seems to be the foundation for the next part, where Paul says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." When there's genuine love, it's a lot easier to experience peace, don't you think?
That idea of peace ruling our hearts really stuck out to me. It almost sounds like peace is supposed to be the umpire or referee for our emotions and thoughts.
I love that analogy. Sometimes I treat peace more like a distant goal than a present guide. But the devotion says Jesus is our peace, not just someone who gives it out occasionally. So it's more internal than external.
Exactly. I used to think peace depended on everything going right in my life, but more often than not, things are a bit hectic. It's comforting to think that peace isn't out there somewhere. I don't have to chase it.
What surprised me most is that many Christians, myself included, overlook this. We assume we need perfect circumstances to feel peaceful, but that's just not how it works.
I think you're onto something. The devotion points out that some of us expect peace to come when life finally calms down. But honestly, when does that ever happen? There's always something brewing.
Exactly, and then there's that other misconception, where we see God as distant, almost like we have to shout for him to send peace from far away. But the reality is, according to the devotion, he's right here, living in us.
That actually makes a huge difference. If Jesus is close and not far off in the clouds, then peace can be a constant companion instead of a rare visitor.
For sure. It makes me think of how a vine's branches constantly receive what they need from the vine itself. The connection isn't interrupted by what's happening outside.
Speaking of that connection, the devotion talks about the Holy Spirit being like sap in a vine, supplying us with peace. I really like that metaphor. It feels so organic and continual.
Same here. It's a great reminder that serenity isn't just a one-time gift, but something we can keep drawing from. When I'm stressed, I often forget I have access to that kind of peace, right in the middle of the chaos.
Honestly, I do too. Sometimes I catch myself thinking, if only things were quieter, I'd feel calmer. But maybe it's more about tapping into what's already inside me, thanks to the Holy Spirit.
That's such a shift in perspective. We don't need external calm to feel internal peace. Our relationship with Jesus makes it available, no matter what's swirling around us.
That leads us perfectly into the last point. The devotion quotes the Living Bible, saying we should trust Christ, not just to save us, but for each day's problem. It's almost like peace is a daily nourishment, not a one-time event.
I like that way of putting it. Trusting Jesus for today's hassles makes it feel more relevant. Last week, I was overwhelmed at work, and just pausing to pray reminded me I'm not facing it alone.
That's a great example. I've also noticed that when I actually tell God, I trust you with this right now, there's a kind of relief that follows, like roots settling deeper into nourishing soil.
Exactly, and the cool thing is, no outside situation can tamper with that connection. Our peace is anchored in the relationship, not in the circumstances. That's a game changer for how we handle stress and uncertainty.
Thinking about all this, I'm realizing how much I want to actually live out that abundant life the devotion mentions, not just talk about it. It's encouraging to know peace is always available, right where I am.
It's so freeing, isn't it? I think the challenge is to keep drawing on that peace, reminding ourselves that Jesus' Spirit is our steady source. Even on the wildest days, we're never cut off from what we need.
That's a comfort. Maybe this week, I'll focus less on controlling my circumstances and more on leaning into that relationship with Christ. Thanks for unpacking all of this with me. It really helps make it practical.
I'm glad we could talk it through. Here's to letting love and peace shape the way we face whatever comes next.